Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be in a plane that suddenly veers off course, not mid-air, but right as it's taking off? Not in a war zone, not in a movie, but during what should have been one of the most thrilling experiences of your life, skydiving in southern New Jersey. That's exactly what happened to 15 people on a calm Wednesday evening. It started like any ordinary adventure and ended in the woods. Excitement turned into chaos. Screams replaced laughter. And in those horrifying seconds, everything changed. So, let's take you back. Let's reconstruct what happened, piece by piece. Because this isn't just a story about a crash. It's a story about survival, accountability, and the terrifying fine line between thrill and tragedy. It was a routine day at Cross Keys Airport, about 34 kilometers southeast of Philadelphia. Clear skies, a little breeze, perfect for skydiving. A group of 15 individuals, likely buzzing with adrenaline, boarded a Cessna 208B aircraft. It's a popular plane for jump missions, light, reliable, and efficient. Skydive Cross Keys, the region's largest skydiving center, had been using this very aircraft for such operations regularly. But this time, something went horribly wrong. Mere moments after takeoff, the aircraft didn't climb as expected. It veered, it dipped, and before anyone could fully grasp what was happening, it crashed into the woods near the runway. That's when emergency crews were scrambled. Fire trucks rolled down dirt paths, sirens wailed through the trees. First responders had to walk stretchers into the forest, maneuvering through branches, roots, and scattered wreckage. From above, the crash scene was haunting. The plane was wedged between trees, its fuselage torn, debris scattered across the ground, and inside, 15 people, all injured, all alive, but shaken, some severely hurt, some barely able to speak. 3 of the passengers were in critical condition. They were immediately rushed to Cooper University Hospital's trauma center in Camden. 8 others, bruised, bleeding but stable, were treated in the emergency department. The remaining 4 were evaluated on site and awaited further care. For those unfamiliar, the Cessna 208B is often used for cargo and jump operations. It's a single-engine turboprop, compact, nimble, and trusted across the world. But here's where it gets unsettling. This very aircraft, the same one, was involved in an earlier incident back in 2023. During that landing, the nose gear collapsed. And that wasn't a mystery. The NTSB attributed the failure to pilot error. So, the question now becomes, if there was already a history of malfunction or misjudgment, why was this plane still flying? And more importantly, should it have been? Let's talk about what flight data tells us. According to Flight Radar 24, just before radar contact was lost, the plane was descending at a rate of 3,080 feet per minute. That's not a gentle glide back to safety. That's a free fall. And yet, this wasn't a sudden engine failure mid-air. Reports say the pilot had just begun the ascent when he radioed for help, reporting engine trouble. He attempted to circle back for an emergency landing, the right move, but he didn't make it. Seconds later, the Cessna plummeted into the wooded area near the airport. Let's pause and take that in. You're in a plane, shoulder to shoulder with others, heart racing for your first jump. And before you're even off the ground properly, something feels off. Suddenly, the nose dips. The trees rush toward you. No time to scream. No time to react. Just survival mode. Some say the pilot did what he could, that his attempt to land in the forest, away from homes and buildings, was heroic. And looking at the wreckage, the fact that no one died is nothing short of a miracle. But that still leaves us with big questions. Let's zoom out. The aircraft had been leased to Skydive Cross Keys, a major skydiving operator in the region. Now ask yourself, does a busy skydiving company always prioritize maintenance over margins? Were the warning signs from 2023 brushed aside? Is this a rare one-off, or is this the result of cutting corners? Because this wasn't just a hard landing. This was a mass casualty incident. Even the Gloucester County Office of Emergency Management acknowledged that, issuing a Facebook post warning the public to avoid the area. And it's not just the human toll. Authorities say that once the investigation is complete, the wreckage will be removed, and any fuel or fluid contamination from the site will be cleaned up. Yes, there's environmental damage to consider too, but let's not get lost in just the procedures and cleanup. Let's think about the human cost. 15 people boarded that plane expecting adventure. Not one of them imagined being carried off in stretchers through the woods. They were thrill seekers, students, maybe even first-time jumpers celebrating birthdays or overcoming fears. And now, they're survivors. So what happens now? The FAA and NTSB have launched a full investigation. They'll examine every detail, from the maintenance logs, pilot credentials, to the black box if one was on board. But for us, the public, the passengers, and their families, there are questions that matter even more. Who's going to be held accountable? Is it the pilot, the maintenance crew, the leasing company? Is it Skydive Cross Keys for trusting that plane? Or is this just another accident that'll get buried in aviation files until the next one? And think about this. Would you ever board a skydiving plane again? Would you trust the thrill, knowing the risks behind the curtain? Would you let your child? These are not questions meant to scare you. They're questions meant to wake us up. Because thrill rides, whether it's skydiving, bungee jumping, or whitewater rafting, only work if everything behind the scenes is taken seriously. And when it isn't, we get days like this. This isn't about stopping adventure. It's about demanding responsibility. It's about making sure that fun doesn't turn fatal. And it's about remembering that every aircraft, no matter how small, carries lives. 15 souls went into those woods. They came out battered, bruised, but breathing. And that, as miraculous as it is, should not distract us from how close they came to death. Let this be a wake-up call to the entire skydiving industry, to the regulators, to the flight crews, to the maintenance teams, to every thrill seeker about to put their life in the hands of gravity and a propeller. You deserve more than luck. You deserve a system that works, even when the engine doesn't. So next time you hear the roar of a Cessna 208B getting ready for a skydive mission, pause, think, and ask the question we all should be asking after this crash. We'll be following the investigation and bringing updates as they unfold. Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and never stop asking questions that matter. If this story opened your eyes, don't let it fade. Share this video to spread awareness. Subscribe for updates as the investigation unfolds. Hit the bell so you never miss critical aviation stories like this. Your voice matters. Stay informed, stay alert, and help hold the industry accountable.